Got to see it, take advantage of what's going on. We will, start our day with our executive session. Need a motion? I'll make a motion. For executive session. For, personnel and, waivers and legal. Okay. A motion by Ms. Kennemore, a second by Mr. Valadares. All in favor? Aye. Frank and Nick, or excuse me, Frank and Jason, I need your vote.
Right, wait, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I vote yes.
Motion by Ms. Garrett, a second by Ms. Kennemore, and all voted yes with no dissents. At this time, I will turn it over to the Budget Committee.
All right, thank you, Madam Chairman. I appreciate that. And what a great day it is to be here with beautiful weather and on this great campus. And what a great opportunity to visit. I appreciate who all ever was involved in setting this up for us to be here today. At this point, I would like to call this room up and you can give us a rundown.
All right, item one is a contract with CTAE Network. The C term purposes of this contract is to provide professional development and resources to local CTAE programs to exceed the amount of $1,666,000.
Any discussion? Move that to the agenda.
Item two is a contract with Georgia Career Technical Student Organizations. Purposes to provide training and leadership conferences to support the state's career technical student organizations. This contract is not to exceed $482,772.
Thank you. Any discussion on item two?
I do want to say that our CTSO membership is growing still, even with things with sometimes fewer kids, more and more kids are in our CTSOs now.
Thank you. We can move that one to the consent agenda. Item two, three.
Ms. Garrett,
But yes, I'm sorry.
also, I want to recommend the board members, if you haven't had an opportunity to attend any of the CPSO meetings, please do so, because it's very encouraging just to see our young students who are involved in CPSOs. And they are happy to see us here to support.
Thank you, Ms. Kennemore. Any more comments, questions? All right, well, if that's it, we'll move item two to the consent agenda and item three, Russ.
Item three is a contract amendment with Georgia Tech Center for Inclusive Design and Innovation. This contract provides direct support to students with disabilities by providing access to assistive technology, supports and services, and accessible educational materials to all local education agencies. The Center for Inclusive Design and Innovation has received a significant increase in requests from LEAs for Braille transcription services, which has depleted the current allocation. The amount of the amendment is $250,000, which brings the total contract amount not to exceed $1,284,532.
Thank you, Ms. Kennemore.
Could you repeat that now again?
$1,284,532. That's the
Ms. Kennemore?
I would like to hear from Dawn concerning the contract with Georgia Tech.
Yes, and yes, Jerry Roberts, our state director, to speak to the report. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can I help you?
I'd just like for you to just kind of give us an overview of
Okay.
this particular contract. I know we had more demand for it than we had funds for it, so I know it had to be increased, so.
Sure. Yes, so the contract in total promises several different deliverables that include access to AT&T portal and the AD materials, but it also includes professional learning and actually a lot of device checkout systems that we have. And so specifically for the Braille transcription services, they said that we had to have everything else is pretty much within the contracted but we so we're trying to give them enough to be able to the point of our official renewal that will occur in December, January. And the amount was just projected high enough that hopefully we're getting enough for them to cover any amount that they received.
I love seeing this because it gives more accessibility to all of our students. I love it. Thank you.
Ms. Kennemore, anybody else have any questions or comments about item three? If not, we'll plan to move that one to the consent agenda. Russ, item four.
This is a grant for our FY 27 Title V Part B allocations. Purpose of this grant is to provide supplemental funding to support rural school districts in using federal resources more effectively to improve the quality of instruction and student academic achievement. The total amount is not to exceed $9,446,995.
Questions or
Can I
comments?
just ask for clarification? What is Title V Part B?
Director, State Director for Federal Programs.
Title V Part B is the rural education grant.
Okay. Okay. Any more questions or comments? All right. Now we'll move that one item forward to consent agenda. Russ, item 5.
All right, item 5 is a grant for commercial warehouse storage. The purpose of this grant is to support school food authorities by reimbursing expenses incurred by the storage and delivery of USDA foods during FY 2026. Additional grant funds are available from the portion of the School Nutrition State Administrative Expense Fund. This total grant is not to exceed $3,117,927.
Any questions or comments? Item 5? If none, I'll move that to the consent agenda. Item 6.
All right, item 6 is a grant, mental health reimbursement maximization pilot program. This grant is based on funds appropriated by the General Assembly in the amended FY 26 budget. The purpose of this grant is to maximize mental health reimbursement claims. This grant will provide funds to selected school systems, Bibb County Schools, Hardersville City Schools, Paul County Schools, and Meriwether County Schools to pilot a mental health reimbursement maximization program. The total amount is not to exceed $559,000.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Yes.
How the schools are selected, what the selection process is for pilot program? How that works?
Chrissy's not online. I know she worked and they worked with, it's my understanding that they wanted to get a good span from the small district and metro side district, large district. And this is not an actual reimbursement grant that's, we're not reimbursing for actual mental health claims. It's a pilot to help them claim reimbursements. So in the end, this should actually maximize, bring in more funding to the districts that are chosen. I do know that these were schools that wanted to participate in this program, and the vendor, I don't remember the vendor, but it's a specific one in the budget that they have contacted to participate.
The pilot, how long is it run? Another school will take to the pilot goes well,
And hopefully,
then hopefully open it up.
They'll open up.
1 year or 2 years. Is
I believe it's a 1 year, but I can check.
most is probably an application.
That what it is?
What are they doing again? Can you guys all talk a little bit louder? Yeah, because I'm hard of hearing. What are they doing? I mean, what is this again? They're piloting how to get
How they can
mental health
funds coming in, how to train your staff, the people, like if you have students that you're seeing, your LCSW classes, social workers, how to bill and give money back into the system.
client.
Client.
Okay. Reimbursement.
Any further questions or discussions or clarifications? Okay, if not, we will move item 6 to the consent agenda and rest item 7.
Item 7 is our FY 27 Title I Part A 103 School Improvement Implementation Grants. These school improvement grants provide funds to LEAs with schools identified as APSI, PSI, and CSI. Grants are allocated based on a formula for all additional targeted support and improvement, and comprehensive support and improvement schools. Funds are utilized by the LEAs and schools to support the work identified in the school improvement plans. Total grant is not to exceed $15,925,000.
Questions? Clarifications? If not,
It's
yeah, I'm sorry.
I did more of that, congratulate on coming into the position. I know it has Dr. Johnson's name on. Would you like to say a few words? Or
Hi, again. Good afternoon, everyone. Nancy Gilchrist, and I'm very excited about this opportunity to continue the great work that Dr. Smith Johnson laid the foundation. And so been able to work with the program managers and all of the school improvement specialists, district effective specialists for the past 4 years. Directly working alongside the tier 4 schools. And so just looking forward to continuing that work and working along with you all. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Okay, no further discussion, then we'll move item 7, the consent agenda, and Russ, item 8.
All right, item 8 is a contract, conference facility for the 2027 School Improvement Instructional Leadership Conference in Marriott Macon Center. This contract will provide the facility for the 2027 School and District Improvement Winter Instructional Leadership Conference, which is designed to strengthen the leadership capacity of Georgia's district and school leaders by providing high-quality professional learning, evidence-based practices, collaborative networking opportunities that accelerate school improvement and student achievement. This contract is not to exceed $300,000.
Questions? Discussion on item 8? All right, if none, we'll move item 8 to the consent agenda. Item 9.
Item 9 is a grant for the state and local cybersecurity grant program. This external grant being received from the Georgia Emergency Management Homeland Security Agency will enable the Georgia Department of Education to provide school districts, RESAs, and Georgia Department of Education access to cybersecurity awareness, training, managed phishing platforms. This grant is part of the United States Department of Homeland Security state and local cybersecurity grant program, which assists state, local, and territorial governments with managing and reducing cyber risks. Total amount to be received is $1,033,240.
Questions? Yes, Ms. Kim.
Is this training that, I mean, for 1 million, I'm like, it's not seeing that would go across the state, or will it, or is it just, who's gonna take advantage of it, or how can districts take advantage of it if they want it?
This is actually a continuation of an existing program that we stood up several years ago. And so we provide Nova4 as the platform for which we provide managed phishing campaigns and training for every district in the state.
Okay,
This was grant funds that we applied for to continue providing.
Okay. okay.
We use it too, the agency.
For the questions, we'll move item 9 to the consent agenda. Russ, item 10.
Item 10 is a contract with NoV4. This contract will provide school districts, RESAs, and Georgia Department of Education access to cybersecurity awareness training and managed phishing platforms. The total amount of this contract is not to exceed $1,033,240. Received them last item. This is-
Yes, Ms. Kim. Oh, sorry.
And I said, this is the same one we used to, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the pleasure of taking it.
Ms. Kim.
So, will this be continued for every board member who have an LB board as well? It's not done, so it's not just one.
It helps maintain awareness. Certainly this time of year, start schools, these things. We just use these to create awareness and these campaigns. To get everybody on their toes. And UV, and of course, all of our schools.
Further discussion or questions? If not, we will move item 10 to the consent agenda. Russ, item 11.
Item 11 is a contract with Microsoft Unified Support. This contract will provide agency access to Microsoft support services, including technical support, case management, and cybersecurity support. Additionally, this contract will provide access to dedicated support engineers for specific work streams that require additional engineering support. Total contract is not to exceed $278,486.
Questions? Discussion? Item 10 or 11, I'm sorry. If not, we'll move item 11 to consent agenda. Russ, item 12.
Item 12 is a contract with Mythix Oracle. This contract will provide Oracle software licenses, support, and hosting services for the agency's data collection, financial application, and reporting systems, technical infrastructure. The total contract is not to exceed $291,000.
Any questions on item 12? Okay, not, we'll move item 12 to consent agenda. Item 13.
Item 13 is our $50,000 to $250,000 contracts. Are there any questions on those?
Any questions on those? None? Okay.
I would like,
Oh, sorry, Ms.
I
Kenmore.
would like to hear from, Reagan Martin about the, new contract with Teach Upbeat. That was what he did, and I'm excited about that.
Sure, that is a contract with Teach Upbeat to provide third-party assessment of our parent teacher evaluation or evaluation of our parent teacher apprenticeship program and providing surveys to the districts that are participating. There are 42 districts that are participating. And so just getting feedback, how that's going, and then providing that third-party evaluation of the program.
Thank you. Excited about that. Yeah, I'd love to see them here to teach it. Thank you.
Now, I will say we've had over 20 graduates so far. So they were paras going through their undergraduate degrees and they have graduated and the majority are in their own classrooms this year. So we're super excited about that. 100, over 120 that are currently in the program going through, working on their degrees.
That's a great pipeline. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, if not, we'll move item 13, the consent agenda, and last but not least, item 14, Russ.
Item 14 is our offered grants and grant amendments under $250,000. We have one in whole child for student vaping mini grant for $150,000.
Questions or comments?
With that, I know they were talking about escalation in the number of students vaping. Do you have any type of number of count? Starting
Just
Hey, Russ, I'm online. I couldn't hear Ms. Kennemore's, there's a little bit of breakup in part of the question.
any statistics or numbers of students vaping?
We can provide the number of students vaping for the applicants, and also we can run the data by statewide violations as well. These specific schools were selected for this mini vaping grant with DPH based on high infractions, also some looking at usage in our surveys and express need, also looking at a feeder pattern. Middle, high school, you'll see, if you look at the schools that were awarded, it's middle schools, then would become high schools, trying to maximize the impact of the grant.
My nephew is a principal at a middle school, and I visited him, I guess it's probably last year, and he had the 2.5 gallon Ziploc bags. He had 2 of them full, and I said, "Is this what you've taken up this year?" And he says, "No, this is what I've taken up this week."
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, it's
fun.
it's out there a lot.
And those are the ones confiscated. There's
right,
could
yeah,
be
that's right.
thousands that
Those
are
are the
flushed down the toilet.
Further
Can I
comments?
ask what the money source for this is?
Department of Public Health, this is a partnership with that department. They looked at all the professional learning activities our office did and a PSA that we published with GPB, and they decided that we'd be a good outreach arm to partner with since we could reach schools, and they thought this would be really part of their campaign.
Need to start with anybody else? Okay, no further questions or comments. We'll move item 14 to the consent agenda, and that would complete the budget line items. And we have, I guess, items 1 through 14 will be on the consent agenda.
All right. We've got about 10 minutes before our next meeting, and next month when we are in our regular, we'll do a local, but this charm map, you want to just, we're glad you're here. If you want to give us just a brief bio so those that don't know you yet can get to know you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charm Mapp, and I am the 2027 Georgia Teacher of the Year. I have been teaching at Clifton Ridge Middle School in Jones County for all 23 years of my teaching career. And I teach 8th grade math and enhanced algebra, and also serve as a school deputy lead teacher. I'm honored to serve in this role and looking forward to getting to know everyone and work with you all this year.
Glad to have you.
State Board Rule 160-5-4-.16, educational facility site construction and reimbursement. This rule is being amended to update capital outlay construction reimbursement rates, which have been reviewed annually, but have not been updated since 2012. Updating the capital outlay construction reimbursement rates will further support school systems in their construction planning decisions to foster safe, healthy, and positive climates in every school. This rule was initiated at the June 2026 board meeting and has been posted for at least 30 days for public review and comment.
Any questions or comments? Kim?
Any comments on this one?
Yes, we did receive one comment I shared with the board last night from Bryan County Schools. They were in full support of the increase of the reimbursement rates, but they did request that the board consider increasing the amount to approximately 50 to 55% instead of the range is right now within about 45% of the state's portion.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? And we will pull that for a separate vote.
Yeah.
Chairman, and let's do item number 2.
Item number 2 is a request to adopt State Board Rule 160-4-2-.40, Georgia Early Literacy and Dyslexia Requirements. This rule is being amended to ensure that it aligns with provisions and changes outlined in House Bill 1193, the Georgia Early Literacy Act of 2026, which was passed during the 2026 General Assembly. Updates to this rule include adding new definitions, requirements, and restrictions related to the 3 queuing system and unified literacy plans, updating the definition of dyslexia and the characteristics of universal reading screeners, and incorporating information about school-based literacy coaches into the section on training and instructional support for teachers. If approved, this rule was posted during the June 2026 board meeting and has been posted for at least 30 days.
Questions or comments? Mr. Rule?
Do we have any comments regarding this one?
We have not received any comments.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? With that, we'll pull that for a separate vote as well.
Yeah. Item number 3 is a request to adopt State Board Rule 160-4-2-.11, promotion, placement, and retention. This rule is being amended to ensure it also aligns with provisions outlined in House Bill 1193, the Georgia Early Literacy Act of 2026. House Bill 1193 added the requirement that to be eligible for enrollment in the 1st grade of a state-supported primary grades program, a child should be assessed for readiness by teachers and other personnel of the local school system or public school, and that such assessment shall include the 1st grade readiness assessment adopted by the State Board of Education pursuant to the Official Code of Georgia Annotated Section 20-2-281, which we know as GKIDS, and a universal reading screener adopted by the State Board of Education pursuant to the Official Code of Georgia Annotated Section 20-2-153.1. The law also added requirements for interventions, parent notifications, and placement committee determinations for children who are assessed for 1st grade readiness and identified as significantly at risk of not attaining grade level reading proficiency. Updates to this rule include adding definitions for significantly at risk of not attaining grade level reading proficiency and tiered reading intervention plan, including requirements for eligibility to enroll in the 1st grade, and procedures for assessing readiness for 1st grade and for appropriately determining promotion to higher grade levels. Also included are provisions for implementing intervention plans for students as deemed appropriate based on results of readiness assessments. This rule was initiated at the June 2026 board meeting and has been posted for at least 30 days for public comment and review.
Any questions or comments on item number 3?
Do you have any comments on this one?
We did not get any on this.
Questions or comments? It will also pull number 3 for a separate vote, Madam Chair. Item number 4.
Item number 4 is a request to adopt State Board Rule 160-3-1-.07, testing programs, student assessment. This rule is being amended to ensure that it aligns with the provisions outlined in House Bill 1193, the Georgia Early Literacy Act of 2026. Updates to this rule include a new definition of universal reading screener to provide clarity on the administration of reading screeners and to retract the allowance of an exemption from any part of the GKIDS assessment. This rule was initiated at the June 2026 board meeting and has been posted for at least 30 days for public review and comments.
Any questions or comments on item number 4?
We did receive one comment on this one, and the comment received essentially stated that it was a request to continue to allow flexibility for GKIDS with the universal screening assessments being in place as well. But the law stated that both assessments are intended to take place. So that was why the exemption was being removed.
Any questions or comments? With that, we'll pull now item number 4 for a separate vote as well. Item number 5.
Item number 5 is a request to initiate State Board Rule 160-4-2-.39, Advanced Mathematics Requirements. This rule is being requested for initiation, which means if approved, the rule will be posted for public review and comment. State Board Rule 160-4-2-.39, Advanced Mathematics Requirements is being created to ensure alignment with provisions and changes outlined in House Bill 1030, the Math Matters Act, which was passed during the 2026 General Assembly. This new rule incorporates the requirements of House Bill 1030 for LEAs, including daily and weekly minute requirements of core mathematics instructional time for students in grades 4 and 5, automatic enrollment in an advanced mathematics course for students who receive a score of distinguished learner on the statewide end of grade or end of course mathematics assessment at the end of the prior school year, establishment of procedures for a parent or guardian to withdraw his or her child from automatic enrollment, and provision of information to parents or guardians about the purpose and goals of guaranteed access to advanced mathematics courses, the available advanced mathematics courses, and how advanced mathematics courses support preparation for post-secondary college and career opportunities. If approved, this rule will be posted for at least 30 days for public review and comment.
Any questions or comments on item number 5?
No, but it made Miss Mount smile.
Okay, with no questions or comments, we'll put item number 5 on the consent agenda. Item number 6.
Item number 6 is a request for approval to post standards, CTAE, basic agricultural science standards revisions. These standards are being proposed for revision to ensure that agricultural education remains rigorous, relevant, and aligned with current industry practices. These modernized standards for basic agricultural science, which were created under the direction of a committee of industry partners, will engage students with essential knowledge, technical skills, and enduring scientific concepts that reflect advancements in agriculture, technology, and sustainability. If approved, these standards will be posted for public review and comment for at least 30 days.
Any questions or comments on item number 6? With no questions or comments, Madam Chair, we ask that be added to the consent agenda. Item number 7.
Item number 7 is also a request for approval to post standards for general horticulture standards revision. But similarly, these standards for general horticulture and plant science were created under direction of a committee of industry partners and will engage students with the essential knowledge, skills, and scientific concepts that reflect advancements in agriculture, technology, and sustainability.
Any questions or comments on item number 7? No questions or comments, we ask that item number 7 be added to the consent agenda. Item number 8.
Item number 8 is a request for the approval of CTAE standards for floral design and management. Again, these are for approval to post, along with this one, along with the 2 previous and the 2 or 3 after are all part of a slew of agricultural education standards that are being created or updated as a cohort. So again, these standards were all created with the committee of industry partners and educators to engage students in advancements in education, agriculture, technology, and sustainability. If approved, they will be posted for public review and comment for at least 30 days.
Any questions or comments on item number 8? Yes, Ms. Kennedy.
As I was reading through this one, I thought about Rachel.
It's on the list, yeah.
And her face on the front of the magazine.
Yeah.
That I sent out to everybody with her and her students doing floral arrangements. It's a beautiful. Thank you.
With no other questions or comments, we ask that item number 8 be added to the consent agenda. Item number 9.
Item number 9 is a request to approve CTE standards for animal science and biotechnology. Again, these standards were created under the direction of a committee of industry partners and educators, and if approved, will be posted for public review and comment for at least 30 days.
Any questions or comments on item number 9? Hearing none, we ask that item number 9 be added to the consent agenda. Item number 10.
Item number 10 is a request to approve CTE standards for veterinary science. In these standards were created under the direction of a committee of industry partners and educators, and will engage students with essential knowledge, technical skills, and enduring scientific concepts that reflect advances in agriculture, technology, and sustainability. And if approved, will be posted for public review and comment for at least 30 days.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, we ask that item 10 be added to the consent agenda. Item number 11.
Item number 11 is a system hardship waiver request by Grantland County Schools. The official code of Georgia annotated section 20-2-281J requires the State Board of Education to adopt rules and regulations requiring the results of end of course assessments to be included as a factor in the student's final grade in the course subject course for which the end of course assessment is given. State Board Rule 160-4-2-13-2E, statewide passing score, currently places that percentage weight at a minimum of 10%. It is recommended that this section of the rule be waived for Grantland County Schools to provide that the end of course percentage weight to be included in a student's final grade in the course assessed by the Georgia Milestones end of course test be reduced to 0.01% for the 2025-26 school year in recognition of the impact of school closures resulting from the wildfires in that area during the spring of 2026.
Any questions or comments on item number 11?
One question, with all of the damage and everything from the fires in Grantland County, was it okay that they start out their school year without any hesitation or any issues?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't problem. I mean, last year, what you had a disbursement of, or displacement of a lot of families.
Right. Yeah.
Which they had to, some, I think, were actually out of county and, just limiting, because it happened right there at testing. Which,
Yeah.
Not there's a good time, but, it's not very good, for them. So I talked with the superintendent and West was made.
This is a 1-year wait, correct?
Yes, yeah. We couldn't, in talking with the feds, we could not give the test. But this was kind of an extreme circumstance with that.
Oh, I remember when all of it was going.
Hundreds of families were displaced and lost homes, trailers, whatever, during that time.
And for the new board members, we also did this during COVID.
Yeah.
We lowered the testing rate. Or the amount that it counted, percentage down the way.
Any other questions or comments on item number 11? Hearing none, we ask that item number 11 be added to the consent agenda. Item number 12.
Item number 12 is a request for a Title 20 local board governance waiver for Lincoln County Schools. Lincoln County Schools is seeking a waiver of the portion of the official code of Georgia annotated section 20-2-51 C4A, which provides that no person who has an immediate family member serving as a school principal or assistant principal may serve on the local board of education. This law also stipulates that if the local education agency's initial fall enrollment count conducted in 2009 pursuant to state code does not exceed a full-time equivalent count of 2,800 students, the State Board of Education shall be authorized to waive its rule and law upon request of a local board of education or an individual attempting to qualify to run for the local board of education. The sister of a current local board of education member in Lincoln County Schools was recently recommended for a district level leadership position. The district had an FTE of less than 2,800 and is requesting a waiver to allow the current local board of education member to continue serving on the local board.
Questions or comments on item number 12? Now we ask that item number 12 be added to the consent agenda. Item number 13.
Item number 13 is a request to approve the Special Needs Scholarship Program 2026-27 private school list. The official code of Georgia annotated section 20-2-2115 requires the State Board of Education to authorize private schools that will be eligible to participate in the Georgia Special Needs Scholarship Program. The new private schools on the attached list meet the requirements of rule and law to provide services through the Georgia Special Needs Scholarship Program. Once authorized by the State Board of Education, the new private schools will be added to the list of participating private schools and will be eligible to begin accepting scholarship students during the 2026-27 school year.
Any questions or comments on item number 13? Ms. Kendall?
So how many are on that list now? And I would also like to just see a map of where they are located throughout the state.
I can get that map to you. If this list of 13 is approved, that would bring us to 366 private schools.
Questions or comments?
This is the end of it, right? Like, this is the.
This is the last request for the year, yes.
Yeah.
So the deadline for them to apply is June 30th. And so this is the last time we see it this year. So
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Madam Chair, we ask that item number 13 also be added to the consent agenda. And if you have
Mr.
no
Chairman.
further-
Mr. Chairman.
yeah.
I have one question about item number 12. Do we know what the vote was from that local board that approved that waiver?
I can find it for you, but I think it was unanimous, but I will check.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we have no further business members.
All right, I've got 10 minutes again to our next room's parts. But It's time, district flexibility and charter school committee meeting. And for those who, we've not had a meeting since then, but Ms. Stockwell is now the chair of this committee.
I've been saying, I feel very weird doing this. In light of our good friend Martha, so I hope everybody's thinking about that. I do not intend for 1 minute to live up to her, to live up to her reputation. So anyway, we'll go ahead with the agenda though.
Number one is a request to approve the strategic waivers contract amendment for Decatur County Schools. Decatur County Schools is seeking additional flexibility within its strategic waiver contract to waive the official code of Georgia annotated sections 20-2-940 through 20-2-948 related to the Fair Dismissal Act to support its ability to address operational needs and support student achievement and growth. The Decatur County Board of Education approved this amendment request on March 26, 2026.
Are there any questions or comments?
I'm just wondering, I think they want to amend 20-2-940 through 20-2-948, and I know here this was planned. Seems like we're having more and more systems that are looking at this amendment. Here,
I think that we had a lot of systems that were on hold while there was court case that was going on about this particular matter. And once that was resolved, systems that they felt more comfortable coming in at the request. So that's why we did.
Yeah, that's my understanding on it too, that there was a court case that kind of said, yes, that charter systems are not, they are not, so they are waived, I guess, from the Fair Dismissal Act, and so this with systems do the same thing.
so, just looking at it, I'm just hoping that it's not all statewide. This thing, this amendment. Even if the amendment is granted, I just want to make sure that we still have accountability. Being the way back here. I'm sorry.
I think it's the air.
Is it okay where we are?
Others talk a little louder.
I think so. I was just asking about the amendment that Decatur County Schools want. Right. And it is related to the Fair Dismissal Act. And I want to make sure that even if this amendment is given to them and other systems that have coming after this court case that was decided, that we hold them accountable, still hold them accountable for the outcome of our students.
And we just mentioned, Courtney, there was a court decision that agreed that charter systems do not have to follow the Fair Dismissal Act. Okay, and so you're seeing individual districts now put that in their contracts. Thank you. Okay, if there's any other questions or comments, then Madam Chair, we'd like to put that on the consent agenda, item number 1. Item number 2.
Item number 2 is a request from Dodge County Schools to amend their strategic waivers contract. Dodge County Schools is seeking to amend its strategic waiver contract to add its college and career academy, which was recently approved by the Technical College System of Georgia, to the existing contract. The Dodge County Board of Education approved the amendment request on June 11, 2026.
Any questions or comments? If not, Madam Chair, we'd like to put this one on the consent agenda. Item number 3.
Item number 3 is a request by Effingham County Schools to amend their strategic waiver contract. Effingham County Schools is seeking to amend its current strategic waivers contract to add a waiver of the limited English proficient program requirements for flexibility and program implementation, to provide language supports and class size compositions that meet their student and staffing needs, while increasing teacher professional learning, from their ESL coordinator and WIDA resources, promoting more ESOL endorsements, and ensuring student needs are met through monitoring of the WIDA assessment outcomes for improvement. The Effingham County Board of Education approved the amendment request on June 18, 2026.
Any questions or comments? I can just share the question that I had and just making sure the ESL teachers that I talked to, a lot of them don't like the WIDA test. And they don't like the part of they don't like the scoring of it. And I was just making sure that this does not waive that. It doesn't. This is just some staffing questions. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, Madam Chair, we would like to add this one to the consent agenda. Item number 4.
Item number 4 is a request by Tolliver County Schools to amend their charter system contract. Tolliver County Schools seeks to amend its charter system contract to add 1 year to the contract term, changing the contract end date from June 30th, 2027 to June 30th, 2028. The purpose of this amendment request is to align their charter system contract with their district's new strategic plan, which will be under development during the 2026-27 school year, now that their new superintendent is in place. The amendment request was approved by the Tolliver County Board of Education at the June 2026 board.
Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Madam Chair, we would like to add this to the consent agenda. Item number 5.
Items number 5 through 8. Alan Yost.
Okay.
Sit on the stage over there or sit here or? Thank you so much. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
So we have 4 items and we're going to divide these into 2 flights, if you will. The first 2 relate to local charter schools. The second 2 are state charter schools. So when we get to that point, Executive Director Donovan Head is going to come out and say a few words. I'll present the item, but just so he's here for your field classrooms later. Good to see you in your new role. Awesome. Okay, so here we go. The first one, charter school board governance training providers. This is an item that you see every year. It's updated yearly. It is an opt-out process. In other words, it's a standing list, and every year we contact folks on the list, ask if they want to continue, want to amend, and then we put out an RFP for new trainers. And I provided along with the action item, you see the list of trainers, and I highlighted the 2 that we added at the end. The stewardship perspective, which is number 18, Mary Sullivan, and then number 20, sustainable education solutions. Both of them in their RFP responses demonstrated thorough knowledge of the requirements in the state board rule and law, have pertinent experience with Georgia Charter School Association, local and state charter schools. So those 2 we're asking to have added to the list for the upcoming year. Thanks.
Anybody have any questions about these? Hearing none, we'll move that to the consent agenda. Okay. Next one.
Thank you. This one we're very excited. Not that we weren't excited about that. We're very excited about this one. A new charter school, Cobb County, Power Public Schools. So we recommended that the State Board of Education approve a charter for Power Public Schools. The petitioner for a grades 6 through 11, I should say ultimately 6 through 12. So just for a 5-year contract. So this just covers 6 through 11. Local charter school approved by the Cobb County Board of Education for a 5-year term beginning July 1st, 2027. So they open next year, and the contract would end on June 30th, 2032. I just say a few things about them down here. Cobb County Board of Education approved Power Public Schools charter petition on February 12th, 2026. Their mission is to excite, enlighten, and empower all students to exemplify their excellence. I have one bullet that I'll read real quickly. They're going to implement the following essential innovative features: personalized learning, early college pathways, project-based learning, leadership development, community and career connected learning, and that's delivered through the Power 5 innovation model. I did include the petition along with this item so you can see what that was. Also in the room, we have 3 members from the founding team. We have the executive director and founder, China Cardridge. We also have Dr. Akira Gutierrez, who's the VP of Ops and Research, and Dr. Adrian, Walton, who's the governing board academic chair. So I can answer questions and they can certainly answer questions about it if you like. I did ask someone from Cobb County to attend. It looks like they may have got lost or something. Extremely supportive of the school.
It's a good. So yeah, tell us a little bit about your school and about your partnership with Cobb County.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Shannon Cartridge Clements. I'm the proud founder of Power Public Schools. I actually grew up in Cobb County and attended the school there, and then went to Harvard, became a teacher, then a principal, and then came back to Foundry School. We're the nation's first AI empowered charter school, and we have raised almost $5.5 million to create what we call the future of education back in the community that I grew up in. And so that's a little bit about us.
Part of our model focuses also on the whole child development, ensuring that both that involves youth, but also the families and the community members are engaged in the learning process. And so as we build the school, we're developing systems so that you can go bring their talents and engage their skills in the local community. But so that their parents and community members can also learn about digital skills and support the youth as they grow through the course of time.
Do y'all have a facility or when's your scheduled opening or hopeful opening?
August of next year, August of 2027. So I've been on facility tours for the last few months, and so we're working on, we have 2 LOIs, but we're working on securing our finance. Yeah, so AI empowered really means that our goal is to create personalized learning plans for each student such that they're accelerating on average 2.5 grade levels. And so we basically look at a student's strength and areas of growth and their interest in developing a personalized learning plan such that they're working 27 minutes per subject area to be able to accelerate. We've seen this work in other states. And we're really excited to bring this back to our community.
It says that you have a little over 600 students. You have people who are already.
So our goal is 720 when we're at full 612. Right now we're collecting intents to enroll with the goal of 450 intents to enroll for 100 seats for next year. But the interest has been huge, and so we're gonna definitely help them.
Because I'm in Cobb County.
So we've been advertising mostly in Mapleton community area and then online. But our goal is to be able to now market more to the entire Cobb County.
The application based?
It is, so it's application based, and then there's a lottery system as we get.
So, we're attending community events over the course of the fall. So our goal is to be present in what's already happening in the community as opposed to expecting people to come to us. So don't be surprised if you run into it. At various events, we'll have several opportunities, and we're using that also to invite families to come meet us, ask us questions in person. But the goal is to remove that barrier of them having to find us, right, and be but make ourselves available where things are already happening for them.
And are you just gonna open up with 6th grade?
Yeah. 6th and 7th.
6th and 7th, okay.
Familiar, we met at one of the AI conferences or something, or the conference, and they were talking about that. So yeah, I'm excited for you. So we're seeing it and excited about what you plan on doing. That's in some of the work that you were talking about, when you were doing examples of what you were planning on doing with that AI operation. So that's intriguing to me. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions or comments for our the charter school representatives or for Alan?
committee, so.
I want to just add that one thing you might imagine, when you see AI, that can be fraught, and when we ran into it, maybe because, I'm old, I don't know, but we did finally got over that initial sort of, and then the more we found out about the program, the more it just seemed like it was really rooted in things that are essential and, tangible, right? Rather, and the other piece, the AI piece really, it drives some of that, but what it's based on is just basic, things we've seen before, good sense, and it's kind of, it's a
Tool.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
You would like to add this to the consent agenda? Okay. And then number 7.
Thank you. So, as I mentioned, the next two are, primarily commission items. I'll go ahead and present and then ask a bit of it, and then ask Donovan to come up and talk a little bit more about it. So these are the affirmations. You will recall that every year, at least once, I come to you, and these are schools that have gone through the commission approval process. And if the state board were to do nothing, they would eventually be approved down the road, 60 days. You have the opportunity here to affirm them, which speeds up the approval process and lets them get started. That's essentially what's going on. So there were 4 schools that were approved, and then are there for you to affirm. Don, I don't know if do you want me to just give the basic, or do you want to come up and talk?
Yeah, I can take it.
Okay, awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And just to add, for everyone's awareness, since Senate Bill 82 passed, we have had 5 local charter schools approved. So we're very excited about our friends in Cobb County. And prior to that, we went 7 years without a single local charter school approved. So this is a great partnership with the State Charter Schools Commission and our partnering district authorizers. To give you an overview of where we're at with our local petition process, which we just ended the rounds here with 4 approvals. So we had 38 letters of intent submitted around the state. These are groups that wanted to create charter schools, so 38 of them sent to us and to local districts. Of those, 15 actually submitted a formal petition. And then 8 of those, after we looked through for quality checks and making sure everything was in order, were invited to go through our interview process. So when we do that, that's several members of our staff, several members of our commission, and then we have a local expert and a national expert. And some of these names you'd probably recognize, like Dr. Beasley, the former superintendent of Clayton County, has served on a few of these over the past few years, including this year, along with former CFO of the Georgia Department of Education, Ted Beck. So we're pleased to say that the 4 approvals this year were unanimously recommended for approval by these review panels, and then were unanimously approved by our 7 commissioners. So our 6 commissioners. So I'll just give you a little bit of context for these schools. So the first is Atlantic Connections Academy. This is a virtual middle school and high school that will focus on CTAE. So we do have 2 other virtual schools in Georgia, but no one focuses on CTAE. I know they had meetings with Dr. Wall and some folks here at Godot, and they're supported by a group called Pearson Virtual Schools, who also operates Georgia Connections Academy, which is another statewide virtual school. They're using individualized career exploration, experiential learning, skills development, and badging aligned to high demand workforce pathways with opportunities to earn college credit and industry recognized credentials. And again, that is a statewide model, so they will serve any students that are interested from any part of Georgia. The second one is Middle Georgia Preparatory Academy. This is our first charter school in the Dublin area. It is the first charter school within an hour drive of Dublin. So it's going to serve in its first year, kindergarten through 8th grade. And then it will continue to do that all the way through year 5. So they were approved for K through 8. They did have enough interest that they're able to serve all grades at once. And they're going to serve Dublin City along with Lawrence County. So students in either of those districts would be eligible to attend. Their student enrollment for the first year is going to be 185 students. By year 5, they project to be at 334 students. Their this is basically just a background there. This group formed in part from the school leader of Irish Gifted Academy, along with a lot of parents that had students that attend there. During everything going on with Dublin City, there were concerns and I think even comments raised from a board member or two that they would close Irish Gifted Academy, which then prompted this group to start a petition for a charter school. And they're quite impressive. The school leaders, Dr. Matt Taylor, he was a top 10 finalist for state teacher of the year a few years ago. I've kind of nicknamed him the Middle Georgia Ron Clark. He's very energetic. And I think they're going to do great things down there. So I'm excited to see what they do. Let's see. Our next one is Prestige Preparatory School. This is going to be our second charter school in Valdosta. It's going to serve grades kindergarten and third grade in the first year. They're building out as they go. And then by year 5, they'll serve kindergarten through 4th grade along with 5th grade. So they're expanding upward. And then they're fully approved to serve kindergarten through 8th grade. They're going to start their first year with 100 students. I was just talking to the school leader. This is quite unique for a mom and pop charter school startup that does not have the backing of a network. For those 100 spots, they have over 450 applications for intense general. So by year 5, they're projecting 420 students. This school will serve out students in Valdosta City, Lowndes County, Brooks County, and Lanier County. Their mission is a holistic approach that combines rigorous academics, charter or character formation, and career readiness. They develop socially responsible leaders committed to excellence and service. Dr. Keon Berry is a school leader. He is an adjunct professor at Morehouse currently. And his wife is from Valdosta, so they've been having a lot of great meetings with the local folks down there. And as a proud Valdosta State Blazer, I'm excited to see another one come down that way. And then our 4th and final school that was approved this year was Spalding Academy for Innovation and Learning. This will serve grades K through 6 in year 1 and then expand to K through 8 by year 5. They're going to start year 1 with 335 students. And then by year 5, they'll have 772 students. They'll serve students in Fulton County, Cobb County, DeKalb County. And their mission is to provide a high-quality, student-centered public education that prepares all students for academic success while remaining firmly rooted in strong local governance, and meaningful family and community partnerships. This was a parent-led group that responded when Fulton County made the difficult decision to close Spalding Elementary. And just a group that really wanted to have a school in their community. And so they're on the hunt for a building at the moment. I meant to mention the other schools have had some success on that front. So Prestige down at Valdosta, they're in final talks with Georgia Military College about an unused facility down there that's looking very good. And then Middle Georgia Preparatory, they are in partnership with and buying a building from Middle Georgia State University that's unused down there. So good news on the facilities front. As well. I hope as you heard our process, and I think you all have come to know that we are not a rubber stamp by any means for charter schools. We're all about high quality public education options. I can give you the national numbers. Is 26% of all charter schools fail in the first 5 years. In Georgia, that number is 6%. And we really credit that to the thorough process that our team and a few of our team members are here. You all know Alan, of course, but Kristen Easterbrook, who is our senior director of youth schools, and then Gwen Jones, who is our petition specialist. They put a lot of work into this process and making sure that we're only improving the highest quality petitions. And we just appreciate all of your support. And I can answer any questions. Ask Alan or team here.
I've got a question. On the Middle Georgia Prep Academy, with the situation that we've got going on and what's happening now in Dublin City with their board, is there anything that changes that petition or application with all of that change going on down there.
Because it's a state charter school, it would be its own LEA.
Yeah.
The district had the opportunity and, for reasons known to themselves, decided to decline, the petition. Had they had approved that petition, I do know there were concerns about if for some reason, let's say, hypothetically, if Lawrence County, took on the current, students of Dublin City, what would happen? So, but since it's a state charter school, that would not affect it.
Okay, so even there, board and the fact that the superintendent, we've got all of that going on.
That's
Doesn't affect that at all.
Any LEA, and we've had this happen in the past, once they're at their end of their 5-year term, if an LEA would like to, whether that's Dublin City or Lawrence County, if they would like to authorize them as a local charter, that's always an option for renewal.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Sure. And then did you want me to go ahead and talk about that? So you all are also going to consider approving a couple of board reappointments from the speaker's office. So our commission consists of 7 members. 3 of those are appointed by the governor, 2 by the lieutenant governor, and 2 by the speaker of the house. The 2 that are before you today are our chair, Dr. Kiana Good. She is Deputy Commissioner of Innovation and Impact at the Technical College System of Georgia, and she's the former Executive Director of the Governor's Office of Student Achievement. She again serves as our chair currently. And then Buzz Brockway, he is the Vice President of Public Policy at the Georgia Center for Opportunity, and he's a former state representative, and he also serves for vice chair. Those were both appointed by Speaker John Burns, and he would like to reappoint them, but that of course is before you all for consideration. And lastly, and again, happy to answer any questions if you all have it, I just wanted to invite you all to join us tomorrow for a tour of Northwest Georgia Charter Academy right here on campus. It is our first charter school in Northwest Georgia. You have to drive over 1 hour to get to our nearest charter school from here. It's a great partnership with the state school here, the School for the Blind, School for the Deaf. And they have plans to interact with students next year. And with the cost savings that they got from the partnership on the building, they were able to, do some beautiful renovations to the building, but they were also able to use the entirety of their federal grants from the Charter Schools Program, grant from the United States Department of Education on 3 brand new school buses. They are fully inclusive with chairlifts. I've never seen a brand new school bus before, but you'll get a chance to. But I know that some of you had expressed concerns in the past about limited transportation options of some of our schools, and we're just really impressed and proud and pleased that this particular school chose to use that money to be more accessible to students. So that's all I have.
Anybody have any questions or comments for Donaldson? I'm glad to see that both Brockway and Dr. Cooper have been reappointed by John Burns, Speaker Burns. So, because I know the things they have done, especially Dr. Good, worked with her on several issues.
Thank you.
We would be remiss, I think, if we didn't say we didn't understand what your commission's going to. You lost a good friend as well.
We definitely were all in that together. That's thank you.
Hearing no further questions, Madam Chair, we'd like to go ahead and recommend that all items 1 through 8 go to the consent agenda. Thank you. Oh. Yeah. For Snake's Folks, please. Thank you for being such a wonderful hostess and welcoming us to this beautiful campus. I'm glad that everybody got to see the scenic drive coming up here and beautiful farm.
So excited to have you here. It's once people come once, they're willing to come back, right? But to get here the first time is a little bit scary, especially, if you go past the school and the road narrows to one lane and the trees are right here. And I always say, you hear the banjos? Yeah, it's a little bit nerve wracking, but that's where I live. So this road dead ends into my family's farm. And so we are delighted for you to be here. Ms. Sharon, the superintendent of the school, has been a relentless slave driver over the last few weeks, trying to get people to this place, you know, and it was already beautiful. But she's so excited to be able to host you. I hope you enjoyed your meal and the place that you have in there, the coffee, and it's still there. We didn't clean up the coffee in case you need some on your way out. The state schools have had a wonderful opening 2.5 weeks. All 3 schools are in excellent shape in terms of their facilities. You have been a great support in approving those things for us, and we're very excited. The next thing on the list here is a new auditorium. Since this is not deaf friendly, here if I'm signing, the people in the back can't really see what I'm doing. So we're so excited to have that opportunity to have a new auditorium. We have some great new staff members, and several of them have come from public schools to us, and we're really excited about that. I'm a Cobb County student also. Public schools are feeding into us, and we're really excited about that. We have our sports programs already rolling. There's a volleyball tournament this weekend here at GSD that includes the Alabama School for the Deaf, the Atlanta Area School for the Deaf, and the Georgia School for the Deaf. So we're thrilled about that little round robin play going on there. We have a goal ball starting up at the blind school. Some of you have gotten to see that in action. It's very interesting. I'm a little scared of it myself, but it's okay. And then we have basketball coming for both of the deaf schools as well. So we're really excited about that. And I wanted to tell you a teacher story of a new teacher here at the Georgia School for the Deaf. She came to us from the island of St. Vincent. She was born in the United States, but her mom's entire family, she's been raised since she was about 3 months old on the island of St. Vincent. Her mother, before she was born, found a teenage boy, a street child who was deaf, and brought this deaf child into their home. Because he was not allowed to go to school in St. Vincent. And so even when she found him, he had never gone to school, and he's never gone to school since. Of course, he had no language, so he cannot, because your brain doesn't build the synapses, so he cannot read or write. But her mother actually created a very thorough sign language. We call it home sign, but he was able to communicate. And again, these are more things like food and shelter and activities and things like that, because you can't undo language deprivation. So this young lady, they graduated a little early at St. Vincent. So she was only 17 when she came to college in the United States. Her father lived in Mobile, Alabama. So she decided to go to Montevallo University in Alabama. And while she was there, she noticed that they taught ASL classes. So she's never had known any formal sign language, never had seen it before, just her experience with her brother. So she took some classes. She was a math major, not math education, just math. And so she has a minor in deaf studies. And she left, went to see the world, did some mission work in Indonesia, and did some work with some deaf people there in Indonesia. She wandered around a bit, did some Montessori school teaching, which, as she described it, was very interesting, very open concept. And so she did that for a little bit and just really felt called to go back to Montevallo and get her master's in deaf education. So she was there, and last fall they did a practicum. She was supposed to be at the Tennessee School for the Deaf, and something fell through. And so she came here for her practicum. It was just 2 days, but we watched her teach a lesson. We were intrigued. She's not finished with her program, but because of the fact that she already has a bachelor's degree, she can have a teaching certificate. She has experience. She's a fluent signer and has found her way. We lost our high school math teacher last year, which her husband inherited his father's business near Savannah. And I told her she should commute. But she left. She did, and I was really heartbroken because that is a difficult position, even in a hearing public school, to find a certified high school math teacher. I am one. And so I started looking for my own, and it's hard. And so we have a middle school certified math teacher that was going to have to be in this classroom, and we have 2 students this year taking pre-calculus. We're so excited because they met on their 8th grade math test. And so we immediately accelerated them. And this was going to be the first time, and who's going to teach the math class? Because this poor little fella that was going to be in high school, he's been there before our last one came in. Algebra 2 almost got him. So we were trying to figure out how to contract with somebody to teach this one course, and this young lady reached out to us, and she only has 2 classes left, so she's automatically, she's good. And so I called Arvita. Arvita's, I think she already left. Arvita, yes, she did. I called Arvita and I said, "It's a unicorn with fairy wings." We have to hire her. We got to hire her today. And so she made her way here. She is thrilled. She feels like it's just meant to be, and this very circuitous path that she came here with. And I know that Arvita told you during your executive session about another teacher here who is both deaf and blind. She's right down the hall here in the last room on the left, and is an amazing person, an amazing teacher. And we always have a para, obviously, for eyes and ears, right? But she doesn't need her para, but we have one. So she is amazing, and she came to us from Floyd County Schools. I've known her since she was 18 years old when she first lost her hearing. And so I know Arvita would want me to mention her, so I did. Okay. So, and also, yes, Charm has a student here that used to be her student in 7th grade and is now a teacher here at GSD. So I was able to connect them a little bit earlier today. Mr. Woods and I did visit the charter school today, and I will say, well, we'll get to go tomorrow, but we are thrilled to have the charter school here on this campus. They have their own gate where their buses and parents come in, and they exit out of our gates because their little road's only 1 lane. So they have their own gate, they have their own security system. They match our security with Raptor. You see the teachers with the lanyards on their neck, the Raptor system, the weapons identification system. On their first week of school, they got one of those fake bomb threats. You've heard about them all across the state of Georgia. They were the victim of one of those. And so they immediately did their procedures. We went into a soft lockdown here at this school. We are synced on those things, and we're really excited about it. And our safety director back there, Lee Sparrow, Waverly, so she's worked with the charter school as well as working with us. And we're excited to be working through a contract to get a school resource officer for the campus. We're thrilled. She works for the Cave Spring Police Department. She's already been to SRO school, and she signs. Oh, yeah. So yes, right. Another uniform of parents. And so we are thrilled about that opportunity. And of course, since that is our building, we will of course have her going in that building as well. And as she does her rounds around the campus, it will include the charter school. They cannot afford their own, and we don't really see a reason for them to have to, right? When they are in one of our buildings, so it needs to be protected as well. So it's beautiful. The life in the building is amazing. This area, Cave Spring, as you know, it does have one red light and a Dollar General. Okay,
And a great steakhouse.
and a great steakhouse. If you ever get the chance, Lindy Marie's Steakhouse, prime meat right there. It doesn't matter what you order, so good. But they, closed, they sent, middle school 612 off back to Floyd County, back in the 80s. And we had a K-6 school here till about 4 years ago. And Floyd County closed our elementary school. And we are close to nothing, as you know, but we're not close to anything. And so we have elementary students, little bitty babies, riding a bus for over an hour one way, to go to Floyd County schools. And, I taught in Floyd County schools for years, wonderful schools. But, this opportunity to have this elementary school here alongside our elementary school is just thrilling. And Dr. Dawn Williams, that you'll meet tomorrow if you go over there, is a superb leader. She's from Rome City Schools and it has done a fantastic job with it. And so that's one of the most exciting things that's going on this campus. I hope you got to see some wildlife on your way in. All the deer have talked to each other and they all live on our land because there's no hunting. They're like, over here. You know, we also have a fox family that lives here. We have a turkey, wild turkey quite frequently. And there is a mountain lion, but he hasn't been down here. So if you go outside and look in every direction, that land belongs to state schools. That there's 480 acres here. And it is the largest deaf school in the world, larger than Gallaudet University, Rochester Institute of Technology, and every other deaf school campus-wide, that we are the largest. And of course, Berry College here in Floyd County is your largest college campus. So we're all about free land. Some, I don't know, heavy. So we welcome you here. We're so thrilled for you to be here. We hope you'll consider coming back again. Because this is just a joy for us to have you here. And we hope that you found everything to be satisfactory for you. And we're off to a great start with state schools. It is very likely that 3 of the parts of our schools will be coming off of the CI, CSI list as soon as the data comes out. So we're really excited about that as well. Any questions, anything I can share with you? So this year there are around 60 students here. I don't have the exact number. And one of the issues is, of course, is that students are being kept in their public schools a lot more frequently now. And I think a lot of that is also they don't know. I don't think there's any malintent on that, but they don't know what they don't know of what a deaf child needs to be able to succeed. And we definitely have it here. And we would love that number to be much closer to 800. There's 2,200 students in the state of Georgia who have deaf, hard of hearing as their primary, secondary, or tertiary level. So, and we're serving about 200 of them between the 2 schools. So, yeah, so we're excited. Any questions? Hey, next time we do have to do the fishing thing, but they moved our senior leadership meeting. I'm sorry. We do share, my family and the school share a 12-acre lake, just between us and our farm. And the Jacksons keep it stocked. So if you wanted to schedule privately, just let me know. Anything else? We good?
Thanks.
Dr. Ms. Kenmore.
Very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing out with everybody. Look forward to the time we have it.
Well, thank you for bringing this group here. Appreciate it. do shift the security guards. So they're good as we go through that process. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The audit committee. We'll call that.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as to avoid any technical issues, Madam Chair, if you will take over the audits committee and just pass it on to Rusk, that way there's not a lag or any, any issues, me being online.
Okay.
Get a update from the SH State Health Benefit Plan on some of the districts that are behind. I think as many of you know, I think the new legislation passed. It requires, I think, SHBP, TRS, Department of Labor, every 180 days to submit a report to the State Board of Education, the districts that are delinquent payments. We have not got anything from TRS or Labor. However, I've got a few I'll make note of on SHBP. And then turn it over to Christina Turner. She's here from the Department of Audits. She can give an update on where we are with our audits. Senate Bill 68. Don't really, unless the board wants, I can go through each one of the ones on this list. However, most of them are just 1 month delinquent. It's like there could be reconciling items going back and forth. The ones that we have noted that are appear to be a little more significant, as everyone knows, Dublin City's still on there as they repay their SHBP back payment for FY 2025, and they won't be done till, I believe, February of 28. They are still listed on there and continue payment plan. We do have Hancock County Board of Education. Looks like about $955,000 they owe. We have been working with the Department of Education for several months now, and they did make some of their payments back, and then they're having some issue with SHBP and the finance department and their discrepancy. So it's my understanding our last contact with them, they wouldn't accept a PDF or they wouldn't accept it themselves. So they're basically going back and forth. So we'll keep an eye on them for you guys' support if they continue to stay on the list. West Georgia RESA, one that we've also seen on here for a while, and that's for about $134,000. That one, last time we reached out to them, they said it was a check that hadn't cleared. So we actually reached out to them again to kind of find out why that balance still is there. Those are the only three that actually go beyond really 1 month. Like I said, I could read all the districts.
There. 1 month.
So that's why. They're literally 1 month. Most of them are, some of the bigger districts can be close to $1 million. There's one for $2,000. There's some small amounts on it. Really, the big ones are Dublin and Hancock.
How long is it sent to us?
Sorry.
Is that document sent to us?
The SHBP sent it to the financial review staff, Department of Education. I can send that off to the board.
I was looking at it on Assembly. I don't see it on.
We didn't post it. We're still kind of working with Department of Audits on how the collaboration and the work's going to go. And I mean, I guess what do we want to publish? And some of these discrepancies may not be the district's fault. It could be that they haven't gotten updated as SHBP because they're sending a month. They're not sending 180 days. They're sending monthly to the department.
And I think part of that, if I understand it correct, is maybe some of the discrepancies is someone has left the system. Say health doesn't know they've left the system, so they're still billing and till everyone meets in the middle and this piece of paperwork meets this piece of paperwork. That sometimes, and that's very time consuming at the beginning of the year and all things are changing so much. And that's the way I understood it, that some of it is, maybe it's just a lag in getting processed, the people who are no longer with the system or the people that have joined the system.
Yeah, there's always going to be a lag. I used to do it many years ago for the State Department of Education. But as you have an employee leave or an employee pass away or a lot of stuff that happens suddenly, you can update the SHBP. They're gonna send you a bill. What you're supposed to fill out is, what they call discrepancy reports. And what we're finding, especially with the double city, issues, is some of these districts are struggling with how to fill out this insurance. SHBP, how, if they have training they can provide, or what to assist some of the districts. And that was one of the issues Hancock had, was they weren't doing discrepancy. So they were like, we don't owe any money. So
they're still getting billed for someone who's maybe not even working.
you know, so they're having to go back sometimes in these old accounting systems, figure out the records.
See, is Hancock behind? You said most of those were 1 month except for Dublin City.
It says they're May and June.
Okay.
It's about $1 million.
Yeah.
They were several months. We were working with them.
Gotcha.
They have been paying their months back. But I think now it's strictly a discrepancy issue.
Gotcha. Thank you.
How often do you get these reports? You're gonna get these reports once a year or once a month?
So the law requires SHBP, TRS, and Department of Labor to send them to, I guess, I think it might say the board or the Department of Education. Thing. Send them to you guys every 180 days. SHBP has been sending them monthly. I mean, the law went effect July 1st, so we have not gotten anything to TRS or Labor. That's all I have. I can turn it over to Christina Turner here from the Department of Law.
Good afternoon. My voice is soft, so if you can't hear me, just please tell me to speak up. So I guess this is the first time I've been able to be with you since the new legislation passed, and so we will be a staple at these meetings going forward. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing over the past few months. We have been working closely with Rusk, with Christy, and with Matt at the Department of Education to make sure we understand the breakdown of responsibilities between the Department of Audits and the Department of Education. So we have ongoing conversations with that right now. We're continuing to interact with boards, with superintendents across the state. There's obviously a lot of questions, a lot of concerns about the legislation and how it will be implemented. So we really focused our time and energy on a campaign of awareness and education. So that's really where we're focusing right now. We will be looking a little bit more at the risk designation process, which I'll talk through where we are right now going forward. The fiscal monitoring system does not have to be in place according to the law until school year 2029. That's a long time, and a lot of the districts are actively asking us questions and wanting us to move on that. So that is really our next big priority. But we felt like the education was important first. We focused on that. We've also focused on the CPA authorization process, which is now required by law. We worked with financial review with Rusk team to finalize a lot of the reporting, the required reporting that came with the law. So we have templates and things like that that are now available to the districts. And then the next big piece is finalizing the client readiness requirements. That is the second certification. Russ talked about SHBP, but the school districts will certify SHBP, TRS, DOL. All of those payments are current to us December 31st. They will also report to us or certify to us that they are ready for audit on December 31st. So we feel like it's important to get the client readiness list and requirements to them as soon as possible. So my colleague on the call, Sarah McLeod, who was with you at the last meeting, she is actively working on that, and she will be getting that out to the district shortly. So it's kind of where we have focused. Before we jump into the risk designation, I just wanted to see if there's any other questions you might have around that. And also wanted to kind of throw out that we want to make this as informative to you as we possibly can. So if there's information that we can provide that we haven't provided in the past or that you would like, just reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to pull that information together and provide it to you so that you can make the decisions that you need to going forward. Questions on that? Right. So there were a few changes since Sarah spoke with you last. Chattahoochee County, was added to our list as moderate. Evans County remained moderate based on its last audit. Monroe County remained at high based on its last audit. And we have elevated Twiggs County to high because of their late audits and the fiscal stress that we're seeing at that school district. So those 4 changes happened since the last time Sarah talked with you. We have removed 5 districts: Atlanta Public Schools, Camden County, City of Commerce, Seminole County, and Telfair County. So those came off of the risk designation list. Any questions on those? Or do I need to repeat them? Repeat them? Yeah. So added to the list, or we've stayed on the list, Chattahoochee County was added at moderate. Evans remained at moderate. Monroe remained at high, and Twiggs was elevated to high. The ones that were removed were Atlanta Public Schools, Camden County, City of Commerce, Seminole County, and Telfair County. So just another update that we have for you. We have pulled back into the Department of audits for Butts County, Clayton County, Dooley County, Lamar County, and Peach County because they were classified as high risk. So the law requires us to audit high and moderate risk based on our resourcing this year. We're able to pull back in those high risk districts. So we're pulling back in those 5 districts, in addition to pulling back in Twiggs and City of Dublin. So there's 7 total that are coming back to us now. For Twiggs and City of Dublin, we're actually performing both the 24 and the 25. For the others, we will be performing the 26 audits.
Can you say those again? Those first 5?
Sure. Butts County, Clayton County, Dooley County, Lamar County, and Peach County. We've spoken with the superintendents at all of those districts, and they've been very cooperative. They're working with us to make sure we have what we need. We are currently waiting on the 25 audits for Dooley County and Lamar County. We haven't received those yet, but as soon as we get those audits, then these guys will be scheduled with us going forward. We do have some 25 audits and a 24 audit that we are not able to start right now because we do not have financial statements. And we felt like it was important to communicate that to you. I think Sarah did last time, but we wanted to give you an update on that. We still do not have financial statements for Dodge County for FY 24 or 25. We don't have financial statements for Hancock, Lincoln, Twiggs, or Wilkinson for FY 25. So those audits we cannot start until we get those financial statements. So they're rolling forward from our cycle. We are currently in Twiggs County doing their 24 audit. It is ongoing, and we are finalizing City of Dublin's 24 audit, and we've already begun some work on their 25 audit. So we are close to being able to release the 24 Dublin audit. I can't give you an exact date right now. We're vetting findings and things like that, but we are in the last part of that particular audit. I think those are my main updates unless you have questions.
I have one question. Would it be permissible for you or appropriate for you to give us that report ahead of time for the audit committee? Is there some way we can, I mean, that's a great update, but it is difficult for us to sit here and write down all the different city or counties that are having some issues.
And the new legislation is going in place. We do get reports from DOAA.
When do we get those?
We were getting them to you on a quarterly basis for risk designation with the new legislation. We're trying to determine what makes sense, given that we're going to be at your audit committee meetings on a regular basis, right, that we can do a report before the audit committee. And it can include this information.
Well, that's a nice summary
type of information you want.
It really is. And it's well done, so it would be helpful, at least for me, and it may not be for anybody else. But
thank you.
I've got a comment or a question if you all can hear me.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for that updated report with the LEAs that are on the moderate and high risk. I guess the concern that I have is moving forward with the amended language to 20-2-73, which is what triggers the timeline for a hearing, right? So you've got the findings that can be made by the Department of Audits under 50-6-6, and then a finding of an individual board member that's under 50-6-28. And then there are some very strict requirements. It says that the Department of Audits has to provide us, the state board, with a report of a finding that they are at the highest level for needs and supports within 3 days, right? Which then triggers the 10 to 90-day window for us to have a hearing. And I guess what I'm trying to figure out is what is at that level of the highest needs of supports, particularly as it relates to the entire board under 50-6-6.
This is part of that fiscal monitoring system. What we would classify as the highest level of support and how the law defines it is that tier 4. And so right now we are, the law tells us that we need to collaborate with GOES, with GDOE, and with the State Charter School Commission to determine both the triggers for each one of those tiers within the system, and then the supports and interventions that are required as part of that. And so that is our next step, is to put all of that information together. I would say that the one that jumps out as the one that would be at tier 4 right now is certainly City of Dublin would fall into that realm. We don't foresee a lot of, tier 4. Ideally, there wouldn't be a lot of tier 4, but that's going to come from us going through the process of defining those triggers. We do see that there will be several that land into tier 2, which is your moderate level of risk, and tier 3, which is the first stage of high risk that will require the watch and the more stringent monitoring between those 2 tiers. Not sure if that answered your question, but
it does as it relates to the board. So then I guess the tricky one is the 50-6-28, which talks about ostensibly fiscal mismanagement by a specific board member. And is there a tiering system that we're trying to develop for that as well, or?
so that particular section gives us the ability to go in and perform an investigation similar to what we did for City of Dublin. And so what we have started to do is build out a process to determine when an investigation is necessary. So we have hired someone who has a forensic accounting background who is helping us to build out that investigative unit. And right now she has prepared a decision tree to walk us through the process. And the reason I say that is already since the law is passed, we are getting continuous emails of you need to go in and investigate this district. You need to do this. This one has this issue. Go follow this. And we felt like the best thing for us to do is to have a standard process, standard procedure to do a preliminary triage, if you will, of the claim of mismanagement when it comes from outside, not as part of our audit, that we will go through and make that determination. And I think that's where that quick turnaround of alerting you, as soon as we get to that point where we feel like there is the potential for mismanagement to happen and we are going to go into an investigative state, I think that is when we need to make sure we're communicating with you that is going to happen.
Very good. Thank you for that. I appreciate your updates, and we're going to get to know you really well and your department. And I think we're mandated to meet 6 times per fiscal year. I have a feeling that we will be a standing committee that meets every meeting and probably even some additional meetings. So thank you for your time.
Concludes any meetings for the day. Anyone have any announcement or anything for the good of the board today? Tomorrow morning. Maybe you'll get to see a deer or a fox, having breakfast, having tea at the table. Thank you.
See him.